eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly...
Hey, what's going on? Sergeant Gonzo Boogie here again, back for another DVD update, and this is going to be a smaller update. I only have a few things to show here, and it's also going to be only horror movies, so it's going to be a horror DVD update. And the things that I got are awesome, though. I'm extremely excited to show you guys some of my recent pickups. And these are the things that I picked up in the past 2 weeks, because last week I didn't post an update up because I didn't pick up too much, so I figured, you know, I picked up a few more things this week. Why not post a video up? And it's getting around Halloween time, so I'm excited, and I'm always excited around this time about horror movies, and I've been watching tons of horror movies lately. I just finished watching The Fly and The Fly 2, which I actually have a cool DVD related to that I want to show in this update. So I'm just going to get going here. And first off, I have Eraserhead, and this is the DVD release that came out in 2000, I think that's why it's called Eraserhead 2000. So this is the older DVD release. This actually has a 2005 copyright on the back, so I'm guessing that's when it came out. But Eraserhead is an awesome movie, very intense, very weird, very obscure, but if you've never seen it, I would definitely say it's worth checking out at least once. It's a very visually pleasing movie. Even though some of the things in this movie are disgusting and gross, the way it's filmed and the lighting and all that stuff is just really good in every shot in this movie. It's almost like seeing like artwork, like avant-garde artwork at a museum or something. It's just, you want to pay attention to it, and you feel like there's meaning behind it. It's just, I think, a really good movie. One of my favorite movies I've seen in a while, and I've actually seen this movie before, years ago, but I didn't really pay attention too good to it, and I'm not actually sure if I ever even finished it. So this was really the first time I had really seen this movie good, and I watched this probably like a week ago. It was one of the DVDs I got last week. So I was really happy to find this used. I figured since the new Criterion edition just came out, you know, a few copies of the older edition would pop up used, and I was right, since basically the week that Criterion edition came out, I saw this used at FYE on DVD, so really happy to pick this one up. And if you've never seen this, I would highly recommend Eraserhead, but it's just not your typical movie, and it doesn't really follow like a linear story structure. It's a little avant-garde, just a little weird, but it's right up my alley, and I think it's one of the coolest movies I've ever seen in my life. Definitely would highly recommend Eraserhead. Alright, next up, I actually picked up this really cool 2-pack for The Fly, which was what I was referencing earlier in my video. And I found this at FYE, and I just could not pass on this. It's actually like a box set 2-pack with The Fly, David Cronenberg's The Fly, and the sequel to his movie The Fly 2. And I actually just finished watching these movies again yesterday, and these movies are really good. The first one is one of my favorite David Cronenberg movies, probably my second favorite Cronenberg movie after Videodrome. And Jeff Goldblum just does a really good performance. Same thing with Gina Davis. I just think it's really good. One of the better 80s science fiction movies in general. And the effects in it are great. And then The Fly 2 I thought was pretty good too. I actually think it's almost a little nastier and a little more disgusting than the first one for some reason. I just think some of the stuff they show in that movie is very dark and grim, with the kid with his dog, and the way that the dog gets treated, and the whole thing about the kid being lied to his whole life. I just think it's a sad movie, but the good thing about The Fly 2 is it actually has a happy ending, where the first Fly movie doesn't really have a happy ending at all. So it was kind of cool they did that, but these are actually just 1-disc releases of the 2-pack versions of both of these, which I think is pretty cool. Like, it actually says disc 1 on each one, and it doesn't come with a second one, but it actually doesn't bother me. I just think this is a really nice little 2-pack here, and I was really excited to get this. So it's just both of the Fox, 20th Century Fox releases of the films just together in this really nice box set, which I had never seen before. I never even stumbled upon this on Amazon.com or eBay. So when my friend showed me this in FYE, I was like, whoa! I'm like, gotta buy it. I would highly recommend both these movies too. And then next up, I actually have a couple of the Halloween movies I picked up because I used to have a 2-pack of Halloween 2 and 3 Universal put out, and I've had it for a long time and it wasn't in the best shape, so I actually wanted to get rid of that 2-pack and buy 2 separate copies of Halloween 2 and 3, and I was hoping to get the Scream Factory releases of both of them, but I only found the Scream Factory release of Halloween 2, so I picked that one up, and I picked up just a normal version of 3 from Universal, which I'll show in a second. But this is my first Scream Factory horror DVD, which is amazing, you know, because they put so many of these out recently. But I actually haven't picked any up just because most of the time they're only on Blu-ray, and they're also kind of expensive. So I usually pass on these for like older releases. But I couldn't say no to this just because I heard that they come with their original artwork if you flip them over. So it actually has the artwork that I'm sure everybody has seen, the Scream Factory artwork on the other side, because I flipped it over just because I really, in my opinion, the poster for Halloween 2 is just so awesome. I mean, I don't understand why they haven't used this for one of the DVD covers before now. So, in my opinion, it wasn't even, like a matter of like choice. I was like, if they have that there, I'm definitely flipping the cover over. So that is really cool. I'm really glad that they have the original artwork, because a lot of times they don't do that with some of the sequel films. Like with Anchor Bay, with Halloween and Halloween 4 and 5, they always use the original artwork most of the time. But Halloween 2 and 3, you usually get a lot of different things for the artwork. But this is really cool. Like I said, this is my first Scream Factory horror DVD that I picked up, and it's really nice, so I'm going to definitely be picking more up. And this comes with the television version of Halloween 2, which I didn't even know existed and I've never seen, so really excited to check that out also. Then here is Halloween 3, which I mentioned I also picked up. And they only had this edition there, which I was a little disappointed because I was hoping to get both Scream Factory editions, like I said. But, I thought this was good enough anyways, because I just wanted to trade out the 2-pack I had. So eventually I will try to pick up the Scream Factory release of this, because Halloween 3 happens to be one of my favorite in the Halloween series. I just love everything about the movie, and it doesn't bother me one bit that Mike Myers isn't in it, but when I was younger, it used to. So it was one of those things that kind of grew on me over the years, and now it's actually one of my favorite Halloween movies to watch, and I usually watch it multiple times throughout the year. I just think a really good like horror sci-fi movie that just happens to take place on Halloween. And the artwork for this DVD release isn't half bad either, so Alright, next up here though is actually a really cool Anchor Bay release that I recently picked up, which is Zombie. And I actually already own an Anchor Bay release of Zombie, the one from the Lucio Fulci collection. It has like a little red banner at the top. But this is actually an older DVD release from Anchor Bay from the late 90s, and it has the back is a lot different looking than the other DVD. It has this zombie on fire in the back, and it has basically the same special features as the other zombie release I have, but I really like the way this looked. The spine has a little bit different of a look than the other version I have. And with these older Anchor Bays from the late 90s, they're getting really, really hard to find, so I just had to pick this one up for the collection anyways. The insert in my other release is like a booklet, but the insert in this one is like one of the cardboard ones that you see in a lot of the earlier Anchor Bay releases. Got the chapter stops and just one of the original movie posters on the front of this. Just a really nice looking DVD, and this was actually kind of expensive. It was used in FYE for 20 bucks, but I really couldn't let it pass, because if you've seen some of my other videos, you just know I'm obsessed with collecting Anchor Bays. Even if I buy multiple copies of one movie, it's just I just love collecting them. It's just one of my favorite things to buy for DVDs. So I was really happy to get this. And last for the DVD update is I actually picked this one up yesterday, and this is Dario Argento's Dracula. And I saw this about I would say like 3, 4 months ago. Could have been longer than that. With my friend Joel, he bought this because he's a huge Dario Argento fan. It's basically his favorite director. So I watched that with him, and I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely like influenced off the Hammer films, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I love the Hammer films. But in my opinion with this, it was almost, using the Hammer material too closely. I felt like while I was watching it, it made me just kind of want to watch a Hammer film. Like, I didn't think it really did a good job of doing anything really original or any different, even though there's a little bit more violence, a little bit more nudity than a Hammer film. And of course, the effects are partly CGI in this, but in my opinion, it just didn't. It wasn't as good as a Hammer film, but I still thought this was really good for a newer Dracula movie and for a newer Dario Argento movie, since some of his newer movies aren't my favorite. So this one I actually really liked, and it has Rutger Hauer in it, who was in Blade Runner, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So just really cool. And, I would recommend this for Dracula or Argento fans, but it's definitely not one of the better Dracula adaptations, and it's not one of the best Argento movies either. It's just, somewhere in the middle of all that. But, that was the update for this week, and, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, definitely give it a thumbs up or leave a comment, and, thanks for watching.